Hi everybody, my name is Gabe Clam. I'm the chef and owner of Il Tocco and Culinary Mischief here in Phoenix. And today I'm going to show you a wonderful recipe for Culinary Zen. We are going to make some risotto with asparagus and clams. So to start here we have of course some clams. This serves 4, so we have 2 pounds of clams. We have some risotto, some wonderful asparagus we got today at the market, and then some Parmesan cheese and butter, which will come handy later. We also have some wine, but we'll talk about it for our clams in a little bit. So once we have that, we can actually move to our stove where we start with our preparation. So all I'm gonna take right now is our clams, and then we have some olive oil and wine right here. So here we have this skillet. We are just gonna add a little bit of olive oil to it. Now that our pan is hot enough, and so is our olive oil, what we're gonna do is add our clams. Now once we have that, we're gonna add some white wine. You can use a Chardonnay, whatever you want. And we're gonna add some water. Now, once we have that, we're gonna put our burner medium, and we're gonna close our clams. Now these, in just a few minutes, usually take 10 minutes or so, they're gonna open up, and that's when we're gonna go back to our stove and prep those. Alright, once we're here, we are gonna start our asparagus. So all we're gonna do is cut the tips, and this is, 2 inches, 3 inches down from the top. Here we have our spears. We're gonna reserve this, and then with the base of it, we're not gonna throw it away. We're just probably gonna not use it all, but 2/3 will be good. And we're just gonna chop them fine, really finely. Wonderful. So now we have this, and this is gonna be actually the base of our risotto, as well as the spears, but this is what really gives the risotto the flavor. So we're gonna just move this right here. And I'm gonna check on my clams. As you can see, this is simmering, it's great. The clams are starting to open up, as you can see right here. We're just gonna leave this here probably for another 3 minutes or so, and we're gonna start our risotto here. So what we're gonna add to our pan is some olive oil. Our clams have been cooking for the last 5 minutes, and as you can see outside here, most of them are open. Let's check again. Yes. And they look practically ready. So we're gonna take these, turn off our stove and move right here. Now, what we're gonna do with all this goodness here, especially the liquid, it's not throwing it away. We're all gonna reuse it in our risotto. So we want a spatula, or you can, drain them if you want, where we can just take the clams and divide them from the liquid. Here we have the 2 pounds, perfect, actually we'll put them there. And as I said before, the liquid, we're not gonna, throw it away. We're just gonna reserve it for our risotto. Now you should have around a cup of broth. If you don't have it, just add some water, you'll be fine. But again, this is very, very important for our risotto later. So once we're done with this, now what we're gonna do with our clams right now, we need to take them out of the shell. So we're all probably gonna do 80% of them out, and then we're gonna leave 20% in the shell to actually mix them with the risotto at the end. Alright, now we have our clams right here. These are the ones that we took out the shell, and these are the ones that I actually reserved. So now that our clams is ready, we are gonna start cooking our risotto. I'm gonna take the asparagus tips and the base of our asparagus and move to the stove. So this is our risotto For the tips of the asparagus, we do want a little pan because we are going to cook these a little bit before adding them to the risotto. All we're going to do is, of course, some olive oil. I'll wait for this to be warm. In the meantime, I'm going to bring the chopped onions here. You'll see the brownish color, which is due from, you know, the batter that has been cooking in the pan. You want to cook the onions until it's translucent. After 30 or 40 seconds they're cooking with some olive oil, we are ready to add some water to it. And we let this cook for 5 minutes. So once the onion is going, we are going to add our asparagus that we had before, and we cut them. So the rest, you know, the tips are here, and then the base we are going to use for the risotto, for the flavors of it. Now that these asparagus have been cooking for the last 5 minutes, the tips, as we can see, they're totally cooked. Again, you don't want to, you know, these to be mushy. You're going to add them like half time when your risotto is cooking. And these, now we're going to deal with it. So these are done. We're just going to turn it off. And these are perfect. So just turn it off. You can leave them there. We're going to use them later. Now here, however, we're ready to add our risotto. We're just going to add them to our pan. Remember that rice doubles. So we added our rice to the risotto, and now comes the fun part. The fun part is the browning of the rice. It's very, very important. So all you want to do is just having it very, very brown before adding any stock or water to it. Now that the rice has been browning for at least 5 minutes, we see that, you know, it's turning into a brown color. That's the perfect moment to add our liquid. As we can remember from before, we actually saved the sauce, the water and the wine from the clams, so that's exactly when we're going to add it. And when you hear this noise, it means that you're on the right track. Now we're just going to let it cook for 15-20 minutes. Now our rice and risotto has been cooking for the last 15-20 minutes, and this is when we are going to add our last ingredients, which are the asparagus tips, and our clams. So here there are the asparagus. We're just going to add them to the pot, and we are going to add our clams that we took out the shells. Also, we are going to add some sea salt. I always add salt at the end, and particularly for our risotto. And just a little bit of pepper. So just 2 minutes before the risotto is done, we are going to add our clams that we reserved, you know, with the shell. And we're just going to throw it in it. And this is going to be great because the risotto is going to be captured inside the shell, and it's just going to make it absolutely outstanding. Risotto, you do want it al dente. You do not want anything mushy, you know, cooked too much, otherwise it becomes really heavy and sticky. It's not good. So always al dente. Our risotto, it's done. We're just going to turn it off, and we are ready to plate it. What we want to do now is mantecare the rice. Mantecare is a word that we use in Italy, meaning to add the butter and the cheese always at the end and always off the stove, so never on the stove. There it is. And the butter is really going to make it, you know, creamy and soft. And just for a touch of freshness, we are also going to add a little bit of parsley. Parsley goes always very well with shellfish. Fresh parsley. And if you want, you can find a nice clam to just put on top right here. And here we have our dish, risotto with asparagus and clams. Enjoy!